Welcome to the SpeedCreep YouTube channel. If you clicked on this video because you were searching for it, you're probably wondering why I'm standing in front of a 1972 Chevelle. I'm actually going to be working on a German car today. My wife's 2013 Porsche Cayenne diesel, replacing the wheel speed sensor. It's actually very cheap compared to what you would initially think, so I'll go through that today. This, if you're wondering, 1972 Chevelle project I'm working on. Got a Corvette powertrain, doing a full restoration on it, but doing it as cheap as possible and as quick as possible. But due to some work, training, and vacations coming up, excuse me, I have to get the wife's vehicle straight. And of course, a wheel speed sensor went out in it, so I'm going to be working on that today. Sorry, I'm not going to get any Chevelle content, but if you're interested in that kind of thing, check back on my channel. I'll put the playlist at the end of the video. But today, in order to get ready for vacation, that's what we're working on. So I'll show you some of the tools you need. It's actually pretty simple and fairly cheap. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Some of the simple tools that you'll need, especially if you're working on German cars, Porsches in particular, they use this socket, or I guess it would be, I don't know what you call it. It's a triple square socket. I got this kit from Amazon. I'll have my tools listed in the Amazon link below in case you want them. I think it's worth getting it if you have one of these vehicles. You're going to need a little kit. This is the one that I got. The one you're going to need for this particular piece of maintenance is a M14 triple square socket. That's for the caliper bolts. Need just a simple 5mm to get the actual speed sensor off, a small screwdriver to get your electric plugs off, and then I just have a torque wrench for the torque specs, and then a breaker bar just in case they're a little bit tight. So unfortunately, with all the stuff in the garage, I'm actually going to be working outside today. So let me grab the jack and jack stands, and I'll get back with you all in a second. All right, like I said, we're outside today. Here's the Porsche, in case you haven't seen it yet. It's 2013 Porsche Cayenne. It is the diesel model. I think it's a 3-liter V6 diesel. Thing's pretty sweet. I do not discriminate against cool vehicles. I've got all kinds of older stuff. Most people think I'm a Chevy guy, but I like cool vehicles in general. Cool thing about this one is not only is it diesel, but because it's diesel, it actually tows the same tow rating as my 396. I'm sorry, I think a 496 8.1 liter Suburban. The only difference between the two is that that one actually tows a little bit better just because of the wheelbase, and it's a 3/4 ton chassis. But this one can technically still tow the same, and it gets over 30 miles to the gallon. It is diesel, and right now diesel is very expensive, but with that kind of fuel range, we can go 700 miles on a tank. So this makes a perfect wife vehicle. All right, so this is what we got. This is what we're working with. Let's get this wheel off. All right, if it's your first time doing this, they have this style lug. It's not a nut, it's actually a bolt, or whatever you want to call these things that go through. So keep that in mind. They have these conical washers, and you're going to need one special one if it's a factory setup, which typically this should be in the back of your Porsche where the spare tire is. The rest of them are all 19 mil, and then one special lock nut. But got that off. Pretty self-explanatory. Inside here now, you have to take this caliper off. The caliper is that 14mm that I was telling you about. Triple socket, triple square socket, whatever you want to call these things. They are going to fit like so. Got one there and one there. I believe Porsche says that you're supposed to replace those bolts, so of course that's what we'll do. Next, just behind this, let the camera focus, that electrical connector right here, you take this off, which of course is like any plastic connector. You pop the clip and remove it. Then you take this off and we'll have access to the speed sensor. Alright guys, if I haven't said it already, this is the sensor that I got, wheel speed sensor. It's an ATE. The part number is 360 361. I got this part from fcpeuro.com, and I've used this part before. I'm not sponsored by these guys, but this seems to do just as well so far as the factory one, and it's like 60% less than the one that says Porsche on it. Even if you go to their site and you type in the Porsche one, it'll be this one next to it, and it says that you can save money by choosing this one. It's actually a Volkswagen sensor. I used it on the driver's side. When we first got the car, the driver's side went out. Replaced it. It's been a while, and now it popped up again. The lights on the dash that throw when these things go bad is like everything. It's the steering wheel, controls and sensors will pop up. Of course, like ABS, traction control, you lose your cruise control. There's like 8 sensors that pop up saying everything is getting ready to destroy itself, and it's actually just because it's lost the wheel speed sensor. So when it went bad, I thought this is a good test. If that one's gone bad, then obviously the sensor's not good, but that sensor is still fine, and the leftover factory Porsche sensor is the one that went bad on this side that I haven't replaced yet. So I would recommend this part. I'll put all the stuff up on there, but I think it was like 180 bucks, where the Porsche one was like, I don't know, 300 and some dollars, 400 and some dollars. So worth it. We have this little sensor unplugged, like I showed you guys. That's just so that you don't bind this sensor up and you can move the caliper out of the way. So you don't really technically have to unplug it, I don't think, but it's better if you do. Of course, we have our 2 bolts undone. So now we're going to take this off. These are the bolts that you're supposed to replace. They were not hard to come off. Carefully remove this and follow all of the standard procedures of not letting this thing dangle. I guess you were supposed to remove that side of the electrical connector so that you don't bend it. But we have it removed. I'm going to haphazardly place it there. Now we can see our vehicle speed sensor. So I will let the light adjust so you get a good idea. We're going just inside the rotor. Let the light adjust. That is the vehicle speed sensor. Just on the bottom side of that, if you can't see it, look at your new one. There's a tiny little Allen head bolt. That's the 5mm that we're going to take out, and that's your speed sensor. Of course, you have to disconnect it electrically, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so this is the new sensor on the bottom, old sensor on the top. As you can tell, they are essentially identical. I've used this sensor before as a replacement, and it's done well. Made in Belgium. Original sensor made in Belgium. Got the same parts number, or almost the same part number, with the exception of the 2 digits on the end. I'm assuming that just means one's more expensive and one's not. So this is the new sensor. You do have to keep your original little fastener bolt. I will show you what it looks like with the sensor out, just in case you need to. Let the camera adjust a second. This is where it plugged in at. That one little hole is where the sensor goes. The hole just below it is where the little bolt goes. So I will stick that back in like this, clean it out, put it back in, and we will reverse the steps. New sensor installed. Plugged the electrical connector back in. Pretty self-explanatory, but hopefully this helps somebody. I'll plug this one back in, which is going to the caliper. Okay, here we have it put back together. I put this last electrical connector back in, slid it into the fitting so now that it can't move. Of course, these are brand new bolts that I just put in. I'm getting ready to torque them down. Spec says 63 foot-pounds. You can look it up in whatever metric, non-American equivalent you want. But now I'm just going to torque this and put it all back together. Also meant to mention the reason I even found this, not only because I got all of the lights on the dash, but you do need a scanner to figure out what sensor is bad. I have a scanner. You can look up online, see what kind of scanners you need. The scanner to just figure out which wheel speed sensor is rotating. They're fairly cheap. You can look up, pull live data, and then just let the car coast, and you can see which sensor is not working. So that's how I figured this out. That's how I'm replacing it. Now I'm putting it all back together, torquing this to 63 foot-pounds, and we should be good to go. All right, there you guys have it. Took me about 45 minutes, and you could probably do it even quicker, but that's it with a jack stand and a jack and some simple tools that most everybody has. 14mm triple square socket. I used a 3/8. I used an adapter. I used a breaker bar, but you didn't need it. Torque wrench, 19mm for the lug nuts. I used this just to make it faster, and the part from SCF, Foreign Car Parts, FCP Euro. One more time, that's the information. I'll have the tools and stuff in the description below. That's how you change a wheel speed sensor on a 2013 Porsche Cayenne. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it. Come back if you want to see some more stuff, and especially if you want to see some more stuff on my 1972 Chevelle build. So, thanks for watching.